They are a composite crew. Chinese National 8, on the other hand, have been rowing together for longer. And we'll talk you through them as we go down the course. But Kath, this under 23 8s just come together from US universities. I've been told this is only their third or fourth outing.
Yeah, and what an outing to go against the Chinese national rowing team, who were second in the women's 8 at the World Cup 1 this year. Huge experience in this boat. Of course, the Chinese won the bronze medal in the 8s in Tokyo. So, you know, they're looking to stay in this event, make a mark, become a permanent feature.
Yeah, there's none of the women from that bronze medal 8 in this crew, though. Stroked by Shuxin Liu in the stroke seat there on the right of your picture, from the Shandong province in China. And there she is. You can see her backed up in the 7th seat by Hairong Zhong. In fact, this crew is coached by Zhong Dexiong, who was the cox of that Chinese women's 8.
Passing on the lessons, yeah, passing on the lessons. I mean, that was such a kind of incredible result for them in Tokyo, you know, pushing the US back to 4th. And so it really feels, you know, with the incredible performance from the Chinese women's quad as well, that there is a formidable kind of force now in Chinese women's rowing that are going right through the Olympiad.
Yeah, I mean, they came over to Europe, and their first race was in the Belgrade World Cup, but they came up against the Netherlands, and they were about 4 or 5 seconds behind the Netherlands, which is quite a decent margin. So not going as quickly, but I think the time in Europe has been kind to them, and they have come on. And this is a pretty decent opponent for them to have, you know, British under 23 8 that hasn't had so many outings. So it gives them the time to bed in down the course, doesn't it?
I think they're building, aren't they? As you say, it's a new crew post-Tokyo, trying to kind of put all the learnings in. And what they're doing is coming out and racing more than we've often seen before, in order to get that momentum, in order to get the learning. And as you say, to kind of compete at this event, then, you know, what a great opportunity. Again, you learn so much racing on this water, on this course, because it's different, but you can then take that back into the 6-lane racing. But I have to say, you know, brilliant effort from that Leander Club Tideway Scullers school, not being together long, but they all have aspirations, and that's what they have in common. They are all athletes who want to be going on to compete for the country in future times in their careers. So they need to make a mark. This is an opportunity for them.
Charlotte Gregor in the Cox's seat, and Marion Green up in the bows, both from Oregon State University. And stroke there, you can see Olivia Caesar in that stroke seat from UCLA, rowed with the Bruins this season. And I think the only English-based athlete is the forewoman Lizzie Witt, who I think is rowing that in that blue shirt there back. You can see her in the 4th seat, but it is the back of the Chinese bowwoman Jinshu Lu, the 27-year-old. She was 5th in the Cox's 4s in the Tokyo Olympics, and she's up in the bows of that boat that's got, well, quite a comfortable lead.
Yeah, you can see there's more cohesion there. They're clearly a crew that train together more often. You can see the kind of the way they split around their riggers, much more even. There's a lot of kind of bodies going in different directions, really, in the kind of Leander Tideway Scullers school, which is to be expected when you come out of different programs around the world, or, you know, across America and back here. And that takes a bit of blending in. But of course, it's great that they have that experience to bring back to their careers.
And it's great with Steve Redgrave, you know, associated with the Chinese team, and also being, you know, the chair of Henley Regatta, that you get Chinese athletes over here. I think that's been a great connection. I think the Chinese love racing at Henley. You saw it with the Chinese women's quad, you see it with the Chinese women's 8. You know, they just love being around and part of this iconic event.
It's an incredible experience for them, isn't it? And, you know, for them to be kind of seeing this as part of their calendar now. They're one of 17 nations that were competing at Henley Royal Regatta. It's been a tremendous overseas entry this year, which is creating such fantastic displays of rowing, of racing at the highest level.
There we see Zhu Jinlin in the bow, Sun in the 2 seat, Mangadai at 3, Zhu Xiaozhu at 4, Zhuxian Zhang in the 5 seat, Yiha Wu, Hairong Zhong, and then we've already spoken about Zhuxian Lu, and is coxed by Lingping Chong, the 23-year-old Cox. It's quite a young crew, actually. The oldest is Judy Liu up in the bows at 27, but pretty much they're sort of 23, 24, 21.
I mean, it's incredible. They can sort of, yeah, immediately create another crew that, you know, start and in the middle of the pack at least internationally, and be building to Paris. These, you know, these are Paris project athletes. Perhaps the Chinese a little further along their path towards that. But everyone in this crew, in the Leander The Tideway Scullers school, these are faces to watch, names to kind of hold on to that we'll see coming back.
See the pain etched on the face of the 7-woman there, Ella Harris, the 22-year-old. Rose at Duke University in the States. I'm talking to the coaches of this crew this afternoon, Pete Shepherd and Brian Young, and you know, they were just very pleased. They get a row down the Henley course, a lot of injuries in the British under-23 system, and Pete Shepherd and Brian Young trying to put a crew together for the World Under-23 Championships in Varese, I think, later on this year, and some of these women will figure in that crew. They'll be out training tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning, he told me.
It's great to see Emma Davenant in the 6th seat. She's there wearing her Marlow strip, and Marlow will be rowing over in tea in the lunch break interval, celebrating 150 years of the club. It's last year, but of course they weren't able to do it then. You know, Emma has been at the University of Iowa, but she rowed for Marlow in the Diamond Jubilee and then in the Wargrave. So this is her 3rd Henley.
Yeah, a lot of experience, even though the British 8s are obviously very young, sort of, I guess, a lot of them just 20 years of age. Charlotte Gregory, the Cox, is only 19, as is Carla Russell up in the 2 seat. So this 8, one to watch for the future.
Definitely.
In fact, I did see the Chinese have entered at the Lucerne Regatta on the Rothsay, which is in just over a week's time, a very young age, sort of 18 and 19-year-old. This 8 is not racing on the Rothsay, which I was quite surprised at.
It's formidable how big that squad is, isn't it? Really supreme. Chinese women there just loving the appreciation of the crowds as they power it with huge relaxation and comfort, knowing that this is a comfy race for them.
So at the finish, it is the Chinese national rowing team who take that heat of the Remenham Challenge Cup for open women's 8s, and they are still rowing past the line. They don't know that the finish has happened yet. They're still going, they're right past the line, and now they've just stopped, I think, rather than run into a cruiser. And the under-23 designate, or not designate, but, you know, guys that will be selecting the 8, the British under-23 8 from Leander and Tideway Scullers finish in 2nd place.